Welcome to the Helix Hang, everybody. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I'll just play a little bit here to make sure everything is working properly. So if anybody wants to chime in and let me know they can hear the audio and my voice good. I mean, technically you should, but these days I never know if things are working right or not. You know, all I do is play guitar. What's up, Tone Shack? Thanks. What's up, Doc? Thanks, dude. Yeah, I was working on my Ingve chops just before this because, and let me tell you why. Because, first of all, let me fix this so you can see the guitar and probably less of my ugly face. Let's see. How's that? Is that okay? There we go. Sorry, there's a bunch of junk back there behind me. But anyway, yeah, so I think I just found the ultimate heavy distortion amp, and I'm really loving it. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about today. And the amp I'm talking about, let me go to my home button here. The amp I'm talking about is this Das Benzin. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Sounds good to me. It's the Das Benzin amps on Helix, and there's a couple of versions of it. This is a new amp from 3.0, and so it's totally slamming. But I've got there's two. There's like the Mega and then the lead setting on there, and this is basically like a diesel amp IR, and it's going through. I've got it going through this 4x12 cab, like a Mesa Boogie style IR, and as you can see, it just sounds really good. I'm gonna dry up my sound a little bit here. Let's see. Let's hop over to the editor view. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm just gonna go over here to the first amp, which in this case, this is the Das Benzin Mega. And as you can see, I'm going through this 4x12 Cali V30. And I'm going to turn this awesome reverb off, even though it's epic. And just let you hear. And I posted a little quick snippet of this at about midnight this morning, or 12:01. I don't know when it was. But just a nice dry sound. And it's just the perfect, oh man, it's just a perfect metal sounding amp, you know, and I have not really tweaked anything on this setting. Whoops, sorry, I've got emails coming in. Hope you guys didn't hear that. That's probably line 6 firing me. But anyway, I didn't do anything. This is just kind of straight out of the box, so to speak. But I've noticed some cool things on this amp, some parameters, this deep setting here, and it kind of does just what you would assume. I'm not sure how well it translates over your computer or whatever, but you know, the more it goes, the deeper or the higher, I guess, I go. What is it that John Lennon said? The higher you fly, the deeper you go. So it gets chunkier, you know, the more you dial up this deep parameter here. but it was set to 4 originally. And honestly, I like it right about there. If we go all the way back to the other direction, honestly, that's probably a little more useful for playing with a group because, you know, why have a bass player if you're going to scoop everything out anyway? But as you can see, it's got a much more sharper attack when you do that. Which I kind of like. And then, of course, if we take this sag and turn that all the way down, that'll give us some more, obviously, a sharper attack as well. Let me just click over here and make sure you guys are still hearing everything. Saturates. I like that. Hey, South Africa, Jim, what's up, man? What's up, Chris? I see you're tuning in today. Good to see you. Adam Rush, longtime Helix user. Cool, man. We are glad to hear that. So yeah, I'm just going to go back here and do a little more tone shaping, as it were. So yeah, I've got the sag turned all the way down. I've got the deep turned all the way down, but you know what? I'll put it back here on about 4. Because that's, I think, where I had it for my recording. What's interesting, though, I think I did this too earlier for that recording, is I turned the bias all the way up. And, you know, when the bias is wide open like that, you're kind of, the amp is functioning in like a class A way. And I kind of like that, you know, we call it sparkle or chime sometimes, just that class A sound from, you know, Vox or Matchless amps. I kind of like it for heavy stuff too. And sometimes I think you get away with less gain and stuff if you have that, because it just, you get, your guitar cuts through, but doesn't necessarily sound like a buzzsaw always. And you know what? Let's just turn the presence up a touch for good measure here. I'm going to turn it up to about 7, maybe 7.5. How's that? Not the most gentle lead tone, but you know, we can make it even better. We can just scoop those mids out, put them way down there, maybe bump that treble up a bit. And then I guess if we really wanted to be crazy, we could throw in this Horizon drive. Just loads of distortion on top of distortion. But I don't know if we really need that for this. You know, sometimes if you're just chugging, you really don't want too much overdrive. But we could always turn the drive up on the amp. Let's do that. How about 7.5? Maybe bump the bass up a little bit more. Take a little more mids out. For those of you that like to scoop the mids. And I still feel like that bias being on 10 is we're still getting, you know, we're getting the effects of that as well. What say you guys? Rolando, what's up, man? Thanks. You're probably hearing it from both. Let's see. You should be getting the Helix direct, but it should be ducking. It may only do it on this. Let's see. Let me know. So here, I'll just play a little. Yeah, I think the DI signal should be mixed in. What's up, Jerry Trevino? Yeah, you guys let me know how that's sounding, because I should have it ducking when I'm talking, but that could just be overriding the Helix. Let's try this. I'll mute my mic. You guys tell me what you're hearing now. Whoops. Sorry, I'm an idiot. There's too many things to turn on and off here. I'm going to leave the mic on just in case it's fading out. I don't know what you guys are hearing, but hopefully you hear everything now. Gary, hope you can hear me now. Let me know if you still don't hear me, if you can hear what I'm saying right now. But I think my microphone is coming through, so you should be okay. Yeah, let me know. I'm going to go back over here to the editor. Hold on. And okay, cool. And go to this other channel. I've got both the DOS Benzin amps set up here. So, and I've got them put on a foot switch, which I'm sure you guys know, but I love to put 2 amps on one switch where it turns one off and turns the other one on simultaneously. So that's what I'm going to do here. So now we are on the lead channel, so to speak. And it's kind of, let's see if did it do the things that I had already done to the previous amp? Not really. The bias is still at that magical in-between spot that we were talking about. But this one, I think the sag is down a little bit lower. Presence is about, well, it's actually lower than it was, but I like the presence up. 7.5. I don't know. That's what I like. So anyway, you can tell it's just a little brighter. And I'm going to throw some reverb on there to cover up all of my mistakes. There's some nice plate reverb for you. Well, that's actually pave reverb, if you guys are curious. Sorry, let me click on that. So, and I didn't mess with it. I left it just like it was. Just do a bunch of reverb on there to make it sound epic. now we'll throw on that Horizon drive, which is really going to be great. There's some crazy lead sounds. Hope you guys are hearing all this. I see Doc has chimed in on something. I don't know what. See, I'm missing some conversation here. Roberto Espinoza. Love this amp. I like it too. You could hear me earlier, or you couldn't hear me earlier. Yeah. Sorry about that. I was muted. Yeah, the in-between certainly exists here. Like you were saying, 10 is class A, and then the other way would be class AB. And, this amp comes out. Yeah, the Horizon drive is great. This amp, when you take it out of the box, it's set like at 5 as far as the bias goes. And earlier on the rhythm sound, I turned the bias up to 10 just because I just think it sounds cool. It just makes it really cut through a little more. So let's see, we're on the lead now. So I'll just crank the bias so you can see, it's just set to 5 when you first select it. I feel like it just has a little more of a more present feeling. Now the sag is down a little lower than 5. A lot of amps, when you click on them, they'll be just set to 5. I think for rhythm, I prefer the sag a lower, and honestly for lead, maybe because I'm sagging myself, but a little bit of sag is nice. I feel like, again, it's just kind of forgiving of your mistakes. Sag is up to 7, but you still got plenty of kind of definition between the notes. And now if I go all the way down, I don't know, maybe that's visibly more articulate, I guess. And I'm sorry if the reverb is crazy. It sounds good on my end, but you guys may think that that's too much reverb. But yeah, I think the lower sag is pretty cool for, the doing a lot of picking, stuff like that. You know, I like it kind of in the middle. So I'll go back over here to sort of where I was, at least just for lead stuff, or maybe even higher sag is what I like for lead, but we'll just put it in the middle, and that kind of keeps us. Now, let's see what happens when we crank up the mid-range, which is what I really like. Works better on the bridge pickup. Maybe roll back on the tone a little bit. I guess it's all this distortion that's got me feeling some kind of way. Let's see. Yeah, we're back on the editor. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, come on back. We love you. We want you here. Let's see. Curtis, I'm reading your comment. Hopefully I can get the FX pedal. I have the Live XT Pro. It has to be turned off and on sometimes because massive reverb just all of a sudden is on one of my programs about 15 years old. Yeah, man, it's time to go ahead and get the HXFX or the HX Stomp or the Stomp XL or any of them. Got any Megadeth? Yeah, I think the Horizon Drive is my number one choice now since it's become an option. I really like it, and it sounds great on other amps too. Sometimes the high gain amps, you know, yeah, Ryan, that's 2 Wayne's World references in a row. I know, man. I've seen all those a lot. It's kind of like Star Trek: The Next Generation, right? But yeah, try the Horizon on multiple amps because it sounds really good. So I'm going to try to touch on something else here, really, that's kind of crazy. So let's see. I wanted to touch a little bit on this guitar NZ, the auto impedance function. This is kind of some, you know, mysterious stuff here. So I'm going to try to explain kind of what's going on with this auto impedance function. So basically you can set this to 2 different ways. And you can see I'm over here on my input. I may have to duck down on my editor just to kind of show you guys. So when you have it all the way down here, it's set to auto. And I think that's just going to be, as I understand it, 80 to 85% of the model's set is to 1 ohm. But there's a few exceptions. So let's say I throw in, I'm going to turn this off. Let's say I throw in this pocket fuzz pedal. And the way you can set it, okay, this is going to be 22K. That's the normal impedance of like a fuzz pedal. So you can go down to your global settings, and I don't know if this will show up on the, you guys can't really see it on the editor, but you go into your global settings and into the preferences and scroll over, you'll see where it says auto impedance, and you have the option of selecting the first block or the first enabled. So what that does is if you have it set to the first block, regardless of if it's on or off, it's going to try to like match that impedance. And this is just kind of how it loads the pickups on your guitar, to my understanding. It's some crazy voodoo that I had to talk to Eric Klein about. And so if anybody out there is good at explaining this, feel free to chime in. That's if you have it set to first block. So, you know, whether this block is on or off, it's going to detect, you know, the impedance of that. If you set it to first enabled, then it's not necessarily going to go look at that first block. It's going to look at the first block you have enabled. So even if this fuzz is the first block, it's going to look at the horizon drive now, because that's what's enabled, if that makes sense. And then, of course, you have this option down here to select auto or 10K, 22K, or 1, all the way up to 1M. So, and I feel like maybe I feel a little bit, I think I can hear or feel a little bit of a difference with this, but it's very subtle. So I really don't know. You know, I don't know if it makes a huge difference. I think some guys just really make a thing out of it. So we did this. But personally, I don't really notice, you know, a lot. Please, may you please add a poly capo in this preset to hear how it sounds. What's up, Chad Boston? Hey, man, thanks for joining in. I hope you're still there. I see you're on YouTube. Good to see you, man. Miss seeing you in person. Maybe one day. So yeah, I'll try to do that since the dude always abides. Let's go over here. Now, the thing about these poly, you know, effects is they are very DSP intensive. So, you know, a lot of times you can only put so much stuff in your chain if you're running like the poly pitch or something like that. So let's go over here. See, I don't even have room for it on this preset. Let's see if I go here, maybe I can put it. Yeah, I'm just like out of DSP. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to go to a blank preset. What is this? Here's a Brit Plexi I just put in here for some reason, but that's just 1 amp. So maybe, oh, never mind. I've got a preset, I think, on here that I can actually, yeah. So this is a preset that I created a couple months back called Eerie Space. And this preset is actually available on the, you can get this on the custom tone page. So if you're into this, you know, it's available. You can just go to the custom tone on the Line 6 page and look it up. It's called Eerie Space. That's what I named it. So, and I've got an interesting little, you know, setup going here as far as these effects are concerned. You'll see right here, I've got the poly pitch coming after my amp, and I do have my secret auto swell added. And then I actually had room for a little delay and reverb, and then another secret sauce as I do this LA studio comp at the end, because if we're dealing in a virtual world to begin with, why not, you know, throw that virtual polish on everything with this compressor. Now this, you wouldn't want to do this, you know, this right here. You wouldn't want to do this on a pedal board, like run a compressor at the end of your chain. But you, as you can see, my amp is back here. This is more like having a compressor on the board in the studio. But this is the poly pitch, you know, preset that I kind of created. And I will say, full disclosure, it works better if you roll the tone knob all the way back. At least that's how I did it for this. Tracks pretty well, even when you play like a couple of notes together. Sometimes that's less than ideal for this sort of effect. But it works. And then I'll go over here. This was actually not supposed to be part of the today's episode, but since people are asking, and I think you asked about the poly capo. So here's that. Gosh, let me hear it without it real quick. So right now it's set to basically 2 half steps down. So it's, you know, step down. And if I want to crank it up, I can go up a whole octave. What does it sound like with distortion? Pretty out. You know, I usually just do it. I use the poly pitch the most because it gets a real synthy sound. But anyway, back to my task at hand here. Nice tone. I'll grab it from Custom Tone. Thanks. Oh, you want to hear it with this? Well, let's see if it'll fit. I don't know if I went to this. I'll take that as a compliment, Tone Shack. I'll go ahead and run it with this this amp, and we'll see how insane it sounds. Hopefully, there's room. We'll see. Yeah, there's room. So, you know, again, we're at whole step down, but let's go farther. Is that maybe the sound you were looking for? Let's try it with a different amp. Let's try it with the lead. A little more gain, a little more teeth. So yeah, I mean, I would assume with this amp, that's probably kind of the idea you had in mind. Who asked that? Was that Roberto? Yes, it was. So yeah, and thank you. I didn't do anything really. That was just the amp by itself, and then I threw in that poly capo and took it down like a fifth or something. I'm not sure. Whoever has perfect pitch, was that a fifth below? So that's basically all I had going on there. But you know, with that, I prefer a sound like this. Now, you can also, I could go in and do like this simple pitch and then move that down, you know, a fifth or whatever I want to do. What I do is just turn the mix all the way up, and you kind of have the same. It's kind of dark, sounding, but we can change that over here with the amp. Just take the sag all the way down, bump up this presence a bit, maybe even bump up the drive a bit. How about that? And maybe bump up the bias to brighten it up. Let's go full class A. Doesn't track too bad with a power chord. Weird when you turn it off. You go back to hearing the amp just the way it was. And let's just for fun, I'm going to throw that Horizon drive back in there. That is just some dreamy sustain right there. Let's give it a little more mid-range. And how about some more of that good old cave reverb? My favorite. Yep, that's a lot of fun. So yeah, what's up, Ross? No, this is not Pod Go. This is Helix. But Pod Go sounds good too. So we'll probably do some more live stuff using that in the future. So I would love to just stay on here and wheelie D all day, but I actually have to go do a Skype lesson. So if you guys, are even more curious about certain things in Helix, you can sign up for our Helix session or Helix lessons. We're calling them lessons, not that you guys need lessons, but a Skype call where you can do a one-on-one with myself or Nick Bell or Doc Brown or Ross. Well, I think Ross might have enough on his plate right now. I don't know, but one of us, and we can just do like a one-on-one session and we can talk about different functions in Helix. If you have specific questions that you want to get answered, you can sign up for that. It's free. So hit us up. And sorry guys that I sometimes don't turn my mic on when I'm talking, but who wants to hear me talk anyway? So I'm going to go get after it. You guys have a great rest of your day and enjoy this lovely spring weather if you're anywhere near Tennessee anyway. Send them all your way, Tone Shack. Awesome. All right, guys. TC from Tennessee signing out. See y'all next time.